Hey there. I'm Dr. Matt Deaton. You can call me Matt, and welcome to Philosophy 2020 Self and Values. We're going to read 4 different course texts over the next few months as part of this spring 2015 edition of the class. The first text we're going to read is a dialogue on personal identity and immortality by John Perry. The second book is The Little Philosophy Book by Robert Solomon. The third Yes, I just dropped that. The third is Justice, What's the Right Thing to Do by Michael Sandel. And the fourth, which you'll read and use for the course project, is by Peter Singer, The Life You Can Save. If you've never taken a philosophy class before, philosophy is the reason-based attempt to answer life's big, non-empirical questions. And you might ask, what, Matt, are non-empirical questions? Well, we can best understand that by contrasting them with empirical questions. And empirical questions would concern things that are testable, that are in the physical world, that we can get our hands on and identify and examine. So, for example, you might ask the question, how many children's toys are in Matt's backyard? Well, we don't have to speculate. We can just look and see that there is a sandbox, swing set number 1, a small slide in the distance, swing set number 2 with several slides, another detached slide, and a trampoline. And there's a dog. There's a basketball goal over there. So I guess we have to define what we're talking about when we say Matt's yard, because there's another basketball goal in the driveway. And just needed to define children as well, because there's my German Shepherd buddy, and he has a toy, but he's not one of my children. He's my dog. And there's another swing set in the other yard. But in any case, I've lost count. But the way you would do it is you would just count those different things. And so it's physically testable. If we're clear on what we're looking at, we can do that. That's an empirical question. A non-empirical question, on the other hand, is something that you can't directly test in that manner. And so this would include the sorts of questions that philosophers try to answer, such as, what does it mean to live a good life? What is knowledge? How can we know with certainty whether God exists or doesn't? Those are questions that we can't directly test and answer with complete certainty based on physical examination in the physical world. We may find clues in the physical world. We may base our ultimate conclusions on different components of things that we look at in the physical world, but it's not testable the way the question, how many kids' toys are in Matt's yard, is. If you've never taken a philosophy class, you may think that these questions are the sorts of questions that we're not going to be able to make any progress answering. So you get several different responses from brand new students. Number one is, this is pointless. Pointless because the questions don't matter. Sometimes people say that. Another one is, this is pointless because the questions can't be answered. Well, how are we going to answer this? It's not empirical. What can we do? We can't make any progress at all. Number three, the response is, well, I already know those answers because my parents told me, or society's told me, or my religious told me, or whatever. And so that's the initial hurdle for a philosophy professor early in the semester, is to convince the students that A, these questions are interesting and worth attempting to answer, B, that there is a method that we can go by to actually make some progress in answering these questions, and C, you can actually learn a thing or two. You may think you have all the answers, but I suspect once we examine the questions in depth and we examine your answers, or your provisional answers in depth, I think you'll readily admit that you can build on those answers. It's not the case that I'm going to attempt to convince you to become a junior philosopher or to abandon whatever your views are on these philosophical questions and adopt the view that I think is correct. You're going to find that's not the case at all. Instead, my job as the philosophy professor is to help you enrich your own view, to help you examine your view, help you examine the views that others have put forth, and most importantly, to get better at, get some experience at, and get better at examining the reasons that persons put forth to support their views. Philosophy is very much like science, except we don't enjoy the luxury of having testable data. And so you're going to find that this isn't poetry, that this isn't like an English class where you just talk about your feelings and what you strongly believe, but instead we're going to construct logical arguments and try to make some progress on those big non-empirical questions, which would range from what's the good, what is knowledge, how can we know we're not in the matrix right now, what should I do as a good citizen, which political philosophy makes the most sense, which ethical theory makes the most sense, what does it mean to live a meaningful life. We're going to make a lot of progress in all those different areas, and my hope for you and my job and my goal for you is to help you come out on the other side around May 7th or 8th or so, and we'll finish up the course with a deeper understanding of what you believe, why you believe it, and have you be a more reflective and deeper thinker as a result. So welcome to the class. You're going to find my contact information in the syllabus and all over the website. If you have questions about anything at any time, you can reach me through the eLearn email system, or also through my personal email address, which is matt@mattdeaton.com. I posted my personal cell phone number on the syllabus and also on the course. You can call that. It'd be best to set up a office meeting first. From time to time in my video lectures, you'll see my children. There's my daughter, Emily. Hi, Emily. How are you? Yeah, there's my daughter, Emily. She's 3. You're going to be 4 in March. You'll see that with the course I'm going to have, to accompany the assigned readings, I have lecture notes, which are, of course, in PDF, or I think they're all in PDF, but also some video lectures where I'll have taken a smartphone like this and recorded the videos for the particular chapter. Those are in most cases around 10 minutes long, some cases a little bit shorter, some cases a little bit longer. And so the assignment for each week will be, you'll read the assigned chapter, you'll review the written lecture notes, and then also watch the video lecture, and then you'll respond to the discussion prompt. And so I'll ask 1 or 2 or 3 questions, and I'll ask you to write a 200 to 500 word response to that question, or preferably post a 2 to 5 minute video on YouTube and link to it on the discussion board post so that I can see you and you can see yourself, others can see you, and it can be more of an interactive class and not so much a boring, I'm just going to go in and type some things or respond to others' posts every week and blah, blah, blah. Not the case at all. I want it to be as interactive as possible, and that's facilitated better whenever you guys post your video lectures. And so to give you a point-based incentive to do that, the discussion board posts are typically worth 10 points, but if you post a video of between 2 and 5 minutes, you're going to get 13 points out of 10. So you get 3 bonus points every time you do that, and those are really going to add up and help you with your final average and such. So please take advantage. I'll post a tutorial on how to set up a YouTube account and how to record a lecture of that sort. If you have any questions about that, just let me know. So yeah, the weekly discussion board posts or the video lecture notes or the video responses will be due every Wednesday at midnight. And then I'll release the new lecture and the new notes and such every Thursday morning. And so it'll be a weekly schedule of that sort. You'll take 1 midterm exam, which will be of multiple choice and true-false format, unless I tell you otherwise if I change anything to it. It's also the case you'll have 1 course project. You'll write a paper of 5 pages long, which will include that book by Peter Singer and also some other things you're learning in the course. And then there'll be a final exam, which will also be multiple choice and true-false. So a pretty straightforward class. Hopefully you enjoy the fact that I'm taking the time to record myself so you can actually see me and listen to me and such. And I'm looking forward to being your instructor and working with you. It's also the case that the video lectures, the vast majority of them that you'll watch, I recorded those in the fall semester of 2013 when my family was still living in Maryland. We're from Von Orr, Tennessee, which is where we live right now, which is about an hour south of Knoxville. But we moved up to the Maryland, Baltimore, D.C. area right after Christmas in 2011. Took a job with Veterans Affairs Central Office in D.C. Lived there for 2 years and moved back last summer and back to my native Von Orr. So I'm very happy to be here. But when you watch those videos, don't be under the impression that stuff is completely up to date. So sometimes I'll talk about things that are going on in politics, and sometimes I'll talk about things that are going on in sports. That's Matt from a year and a half ago. I'll grow a beard over the course of the semester. I'm not really growing a beard now. So maybe I'll post one of these updates midway through the semester so you know that. So thanks in advance. Usually I don't ramble on like this, but I'm just trying to be welcoming and open and all that. I really hope you enjoyed the books. The first week's reading, I've scanned it into the computer and I've posted it on eLearn in the form of a PDF so that you don't have to have the book immediately, but you will need to get the book for the following week. So please order those books as soon as possible. I've not scanned in any more chapters, and I can't for the first book because it's so short. It would be the entire book if I scanned the rest of it, which the author would not appreciate. So order those, get them off Amazon for cheap. Any questions, let me know, and welcome to the class.